Hola, you amazing artists. So one of the questions that I just answered recently was about doing your first art show and how many pieces you should have for your first art show. I went into more about the fee that the gallery charges, $15 per piece. I want to answer this question because this isn't the first time that we've gotten questions like this about like how many pieces should I have to start, whether or not they're doing a show or they're planning on doing a gallery opening or something like that. My answer is always the same. Start with whatever it is that you have, whatever it is that you're able to create for the show. For a lot of shows, like if you're doing a gallery show and you have a certain theme and you want to release a certain series and maybe there's 10 pieces per that series or 20 pieces in that series, then ideally you would want to show all 10 or all 20 pieces. If you're just doing a show and you have 5 pieces, then I would suggest having those 5 pieces at your show. If you have 100 pieces and you want to take 40 because that's all that you can fit in your booth or in the space that's there, then you take 40. If you only have 3 pieces, then you show 3 pieces. I mean, it doesn't matter how many pieces you have. What matters is that you're showing your work.
I pretty much bring as much as I can fit in whatever given space without it looking like a garage sale.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to over-clutter a space with a bunch of stuff just because you have it. But then again, don't go minimal if you have a lot of pieces. Find a way to creatively display all the pieces where the impact of each one doesn't get lost because you have so many pieces up. A lot of you guys ask that question, how many pieces should I bring to such and such and such thing? And honestly, I can't answer that because I haven't looked at the space. I don't know whether or not you're selling out of a booth. Do you have walls? Do you not have walls? You have to trust yourself when it comes to displaying your work and what it is that you want people to see. I guess it all comes down to common sense. If you have a giant space and you're only bringing 3 pieces, that's probably not
a wise use of space.
Yeah, not a wise use of space.
Unless your 3 pieces are like 8 foot by 10 foot pieces.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a giant piece and you have 3 giant pieces that fill the space, then yeah, then you bring out 3 pieces. That's why. I mean, I can't really answer this question. I can tell you how I do with my art, and essentially what I do is take a look at the space that I have and decide how many pieces I'm going to bring out and whether or not I'm using my walls or if I'm not using my walls or if it's in a gallery, how big is the space. When I did a show at Marty Campbell Gallery, we were on the 2nd floor. So I had an entire floor to cover with pieces. And originally my plan was to bring out about 40 pieces. But then when we started taking measurements of the walls, like 40 pieces weren't going to be impactful, which is why I decided to bring out 100 pieces. Now I've done shows where I've only brought out about 5 pieces because of the space that I have. And I've done shows where I've brought out 20 pieces. So pretty much what I want to say is don't worry about how many pieces you have. Just create artwork. Whatever artwork you have, if you have the space for it, then bring that artwork out. And don't worry about not having enough and don't worry about having too much. Just figure out what you can fit into space and what it is that you're going to bring into that space. That's it.
You remember that documentary we watched about the artist who brought nothing to his first show except a piece of paper with an excuse on it?
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
And it was high art.
Yeah, he wasn't even sure about what to bring, so for his first show, he brought nothing. And basically just had a piece of paper
explaining why there was nothing.
Yeah, explained that there was nothing and that was the exhibit. And people showed up and were like, oh my god, this is brilliant. And then for the next show, he actually took other people's artwork and put it up. Stole it and put it up at the show. And people showed up and they were like, oh my god, this is high art.
I would say if there was one lesson that I kind of wish I had known in the beginning, it would have been, don't overwhelm yourself. Like, you don't have to bring out everything you've ever created for your first show.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah. I think essentially that's what it comes down to. The reason people are asking is because they're worried that their first show isn't going to be perfect. And the truth of the matter is that the idea of perfection is non-existent. The only thing that you could do is show your work the way that you want to show your work because it's your work. Don't concern yourself with whether or not you're going to make a mistake and nobody's going to buy your stuff. If people could see it and they want to buy it, they're going to buy it. If they don't want to buy it, they're not going to buy it. There is no trickery that could happen that's going to cause people to buy your artwork. So if you're doing a show, the things that I focus on mostly is what is the experience of the person that is viewing the artwork going to be. So I pretty much walk the space and picture what it would be like to be them and looking at my artwork. And then I make sure that my message, whatever it is that I want them to see, is there. Now, art is subjective. Whether or not they see it or not, that's up to them. But at least for you walking your space, just detach yourself and see yourself as somebody who is seeing this artwork for the first time, and make sure that it's enjoyable for you, because that's all we could do is set up the space to be enjoyable for the people that walk in. If they don't enjoy themselves, that's their prerogative. If they do, then awesome. But don't concern yourself with making it perfect, because the idea is non-existent. There is just you setting up your show, and that's it. So I wouldn't concern myself so much with whether or not you're getting it right, because there's no right. You're an artist. You're nuts, basically, because you're an artist. It just comes with the title.
Yeah, you have a license to crazy.
Yeah, so just have fun with your first show. And that's it. Hopefully this actually answered the question about how many pieces to bring out to a show. Short answer is as many as you want to, because it's your show, so you decide. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are so freaking awesome. I absolutely adore you. And if you like this and you want to watch more like this, just click right over here to subscribe. Oh, and by the way, if you have any questions for us or comments, just leave them in the comment section below. And that's it. Say goodbye, Klee.
Good day.
Adios.